I wanted to respond to your question. She asked, is it better pre-taxed or taxed? So I think you're asking about with investments, right?
Yes, I am.
So this is a complicated question because you're getting into like investing strategy, and we'll get into this a lot more. But it's really just like different tools, and you may want to do both depending on your situation. So I know you said you have a 401k at work, so that's pre-tax, and then if you were to do like a Roth IRA, that would be post-tax, and then if you do a brokerage account, that's just going to be taxed. And it's going to depend what purpose it's for. I'm going to try and take a stab at this, but Miguel, please jump in if I'm not making sense or if you have anything to add. So like the pre-tax, the advantage of that is it reduces, if you do have a salary job, it reduces the income from your salary job that you will pay taxes on. So that's an advantage because you pay less taxes overall on your salary because you're basically like cutting out a chunk of your salary before taxes come into play and putting that over to retirement, and you're not paying taxes on that income. You will have to pay taxes though later in life when you take it out. If you wait till retirement, it depends what you expect your life to be. If most people in retirement are in a lower tax bracket, which means they're paying like a less percentage of taxes overall on their income because they're not working. And so it may not be that bad to have to pay taxes on 401k investments when you take them out because you're in like a lesser tax bracket percentage. Does that make sense? Anything you want to add on that, Michael?
No, I think that was a good breakdown. I mean, it's like it's diversifying yourself in that way that you're taking advantage of both of it. So like that's where like people get like the best strategies out of it is by like figuring out like, okay, well, sometimes people make the mistake of paying taxes 2 times because they'll like put taxed money into a pre-taxed account, and then it's like, oh, like they kind of played yourself a little bit. So it's like tricky and confusing, but yeah, like we always have people leave the pre-tax and let that grow, because inflation, like when you take it out in the future, hopefully like you're beating inflation throughout the years. It's growing more than inflation is. And then if you have money left over, just maxing out your Roth. It's like super simple. Just leave the pre-tax in the pre-tax, put everything post-tax. If you can, try and max out your Roth IRAs, which is like that $6,000 a year. And then those are just those retirement accounts that build up over time. And like Adina said, if you start that brokerage account, that's money that you can use for whatever, like purchasing like a down payment on a home or on a car or something.
Yeah, that's great. So the Roth IRA is post-tax, which means it's, if you're using money from a salary job, it's after you've paid taxes on your income, whatever's left that you're getting in your paycheck. You can do whatever you want with that. You can spend it on groceries. You can put it in a Roth IRA. So in the Roth IRA, it will grow tax-free, which means that when you do take it out in retirement, you pay no taxes on the earnings. So you're going to make like tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars in that Roth IRA, and you won't pay taxes on it. So that's a huge advantage and why people really recommend Roth IRAs. But it can just get complicated what tax bracket you're in, right? Like, because if in retirement, let's say you've like built up businesses and you're making a lot of money even in the age of retirement, you may have a very high tax bracket, right? And in that case, the Roth IRA would be really good, right? Because you're not paying taxes. The 401k money, not so good because you have to pay taxes on it. But it can be vice versa if you're not making a lot in retirement. So it's hard to predict. For the purpose of this course, like you don't have to figure that all out. We're really just like getting these accounts open and started and learning how to like get the money in your budget to fund them. And then once you are like at a place where you can do that and you want to go to the next level, you can work with a tax professional to kind of strategize about all of this. Yeah. the brokerage, as Miguel was saying, makes sense for like a down payment for a home or something, but you will be paying taxes on that money. There's no tax benefits with that. So you wouldn't want to put all your money in the Roth IRA if you have other goals, because with the 401k and Roth IRA, there are penalties for taking out the money before age 59 and a half. So you may have to pay a fee because of that. But there's a benefit. Okay, there's two benefits. For both 401k and Roth IRA, there are exceptions to those penalties. So for example, the first time you buy a home or like medical or I think educational expenses, you may be able to take out money without paying a penalty. You just have to look at what the exceptions are. And they're in the course materials. There's a link to that. There's one more benefit with the Roth IRA, which is that you can take out the money you put in with no penalty, not the earnings. So the money that's growing, the earnings, you can't take that out before age 59 and a half if it's not an exception to the penalty without paying a penalty. But if it's money you just put in, the contributions, you can take that out. So you can still use that money for another purpose. It's tricky, but you all are going to be way ahead of most people just even getting these accounts open and starting to fund them.